I wonder if this is the swan song for Pete Fairbanks. There is a team option for him in 2026 at, I think, around $7 million. And
if the Rays are doing well, he's not getting moved. If they're doing so-so, if they're like a 500 team by the trade deadline, guess what? He gone.
He's getting moved. Yeah.
He's getting moved.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulysses Sembrano,
bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
Whether you're a diehard fan who vividly remembers Longo's Game 162 just like us,
or you remember the early Devore days of Wade Boggs and Carl Crawford,
we are here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this will be our 7th season covering the Rays daily.
And spring training is right here. So go ahead, grab your favorite Rays gear, settle in, and subscribe to our Locked On Rays YouTube channel and other podcast platforms. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays.
This episode is brought to you by you, everybody who just watches the show. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Helps a bunch. It makes us feel good to see those thumbs up. And guess what? You are also helping out other Rays fans discover the pod, and that's also a nice thing to do. So how about that?
And that gentleman on the screen, if you're on the YouTubes, is Jose Caballero, who might be an outfielder before long based on the activity that he is handling in spring camp right now. But we're not really going to talk about offense much on this episode, more so the pitching variety, as we have our spring training report. There it is. I like the banner, the footer, whatever you want to call it there. Last week, we focused on the starting pitching group and the positive challenges that provides of having maybe one too many guys in that rotation. Now we will transition to the bullpen. And I am bullish on this bullpen. I like what this bullpen can deliver, especially down the stretch, end of last year. And it might be a similar situation with the rotation, in the sense of you have so many good options, you might not be able to keep them all at the big league level to start, or may not be able to give them the role that they may deserve, because there's just such a bevy of dudes available. And let's hope that they pick up where they left off and improve where they were in 2024. I just want to run through a couple numbers here. So last year, all of 2024, the relief corps was 9th in ERA across all of baseball, 3.73, 4th in saves with 51, 6th in WHIP at 1.19, 10th in strikeouts, so 10th most strikeouts generated, 619. And now the bad news, despite all those numbers, they did give up the second most homers in all of baseball, 82 allowed. That goes against the Blue Jays, who were the clubhouse leader, not in a good way, with 92. But the Rays, thankfully, have cut some of the home run fat off of the relief corps. Davinsky, he gone. Poche is gone. Armstrong gone. The $6 million man, Phil Maton, is gone. Erasmo Ramirez is gone as well. Those guys were responsible for a big chunk of those dingers that were allowed. So fresh faces, some fresh faces, and hopefully less homers. But no guarantee when you got a lot of games at Steinbrenner Field, I should say.
There we go. Exactly. Yeah. Now it's a different field. It's a different ballpark. It's a different set of weather conditions. It's not 72 with a dome. As we have overviewed in this pod and have said nitrogen a few times in the offseason. Well, we know that humidity makes the ball fly a little bit harder and faster than it would usually do. So, yeah, hopefully that's not going to be affecting the race too much, at least the race pitchers too much. Hopefully it affects the race hitters a lot this season, and we can see a jump there. But not only did the race trim the fat with the home runs by trading away or DFAing or just not employing Davinsky, Poche, Armstrong, Maton, and Erasmo Ramirez, they also trimmed the fat out of Rays fans' frustrations and anger when a lot of those guys were on the mound, because I'm pretty sure that when those were on the mound, Twitter and other social medias were heavily affected with bad words and those players when they were on.
Absolutely. And I think the idea is the Rays plan to keep 8 guys in the bullpen. That seems to be the running theory, correct? So that is the question, is who are the guys going to be that make the opening day roster? I think we can lock in most, if not all of them. Pete Fairbanks, of course, assuming no injury. Edwin Uceta.
Yes.
Manny Rodríguez. Garrett Clevenger.
Right.
Hunter Bigge.
Yes.
Kevin Kelly.
Yes.
Where are we at? 6?
You're at 6 right now.
Mason Montgomery.
I could see him, but I also could not. I would not be surprised if he's left. I think we're done with for sure names.
Okay. So really from there, it's up in the air. It could be a Mason Montgomery. It could be an Eric Orze. It could be Zach Littell. It could be Yonyo Corrette. It could be Ian Steamore. It could be Joe Rock. It could be Joe Boyle. A lot of names to parcel through.
Alex Faedo.
I even forgot him too.
I mean, I think this is the first topic of this, or at least first branch of this topic of bullpenning, which is depth. Yes. There's a bunch of names. There really is, man. It's crazy. I think those names, though, Fairbanks, Uceta, Rodríguez, Clevenger, Kelly, Bigge, those 6 names are for sure. I think then after that, you start getting into gray areas. But I don't know how anybody. I mean, hey, if you're on YouTube and you're hitting that like button and you're hitting that subscribe button, also leave a comment saying, hey, I don't agree with you. Those 6 names are not solid. It's only Fairbanks. Why are you putting Uceta there? I think Uceta is definitely a lock, but maybe you think differently. But really, Fairbanks, Uceta, Rodríguez, Clevenger, Kelly, Bigge. Those 6 names for me are pretty much, you can take them to the bank unless an injury happens, and hopefully they don't. It's those 2 last spots. What are they going to do?
Yeah. And maybe they just say, hey, we need another lefty, so let's find the best lefty in spring camp and then figure it out from there. That could
right, because I mean, you got Clevenger, but I mean, maybe you want somebody else. You know, Montgomery is definitely going to be making, a name for himself, and what he did last year was pretty impressive as well.
Yeah, what a lot of those guys did was very impressive and surprising. We have more to discuss on this topic, but first we have to tell the audience something very important, and that is Wonderful Pistachios. Yes, look at it. That is a great sound, okay?
Yum.
If you're looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, go ahead, crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. I'm not going to open the bag because I don't want my pistachios to spoil. I'm going to save them for later after the show to give me a nice protein cake before I go work out at 10:30 at night. That's what I do. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling full longer. This is what you should know about pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios, that is. They have all 9 essential amino acids. I mentioned the protein punch. And look at this bag. So easy to grab and go, okay? You don't have to make a mess. I mean, and the satisfying crack of opening each shell, it's like snack meditation. I don't even need to see a therapist anymore. I just need to hear the sound of a crack opening on each shell. That's it. That's all it takes. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead, get snacking, get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more and hear more.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful Pistachios. All right.
Can
we
get one more shake on the pistachios, please? Oh.
I'll get to that, but I want to acknowledge a positive lens with the bullpen, and it has been illuminated throughout videos and reports and so forth. This should be a hard throwing bunch. There is not just a Pete Fairbanks and one other guy that can throw 97, 98, 99. I mean, we're talking about maybe half a dozen, if not more, guys who throw the heater, and that can allow you to get away with a lot of things. And I think that the way the bullpen is constructed presently going into spring training and hopefully the regular season is you have a really good mix of guys who can handle the high leverage, righties, lefties, hard throwers, different arm angles, everything that you're looking for from a complex, diverse bullpen to provide different looks. I think that's a really positive thing that we can take to heart here. And you'll hope it just translate on the field. And I'm really, like I said in the open, I know that, they might not be the sexiest names yet, but you're going to learn their names pretty quick, I think.
Pretty quickly, because you see the stuff is there. And one thing that you said about power, there's a great quote with Neander there regarding the power. It said, look, power is really, really helpful. It increases a pitcher's margin for error greatly. I just think where we are right now is maybe just how these things sometimes work themselves out. If they're able to pick up where they left off, I think there's potential for a championship caliber league leading type of bullpen. And I want to focus on that first part of that phrase or that quote rather. Mm-hmm. The pitcher's margin for error. It's very difficult to hit a baseball. Yes. Even if you're in Little League. Have you not been into a Little League game? It's tough for those, okay? So imagine now somebody trying to hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball that has the same tunnel, the same path of a curveball, of a slider that's also going in a 92-mile-an-hour. It's very difficult, right? So even something as difficult as hitting a baseball, when you're playing in the major leagues and a dude's just chucking the same pitch, 98, 99, again and again and again, it's going to get hit. If you don't believe me, go watch the 2020 ALDS Game 5 footage of Mike Brasso and Aroldis Chapman.
Yes.
You're going to catch up to it. Eventually, you're going to. So with the speed, with the velocity of these guys that are having in this bullpen, you do increase that margin of error just slightly, that even if they can catch up to it, maybe they don't hit it right on the barrel.
Yeah.
And if it was a couple miles an hour, a little bit slower, that thing is gone. But because you have that power on your arm, on your delivery, on your pitches, then it actually helps you at least just stave off that millimeter off the barrel, and that helps you greatly. Especially, let's go back to stadium talk. Happy stadium talk, though. You hope that the pitchers that the Rays are throwing on the bullpen are not going to have that issue with the long ball, right. And that could be something that if you're able to, garner 98, 99, 100 miles an hour, the whiffs are going to come, the chases are going to come, and hopefully, when they hit it, they're able to not quite square it right on the barrel.
And speaking of the stadium, we'll have to wait and see on the home run front, because it's funny, the Rays gave up so many home runs from the relief corps last season and playing one of the most pitcher-friendly ballparks in all of baseball year in and year out. And now that's flipped on its head. So hopefully there's a lot of swing and misses, pop outs, fly outs, ground outs, whatever variety it is to, keep it in play. But I think the depth factor is really going to be helpful for the Rays because I know we've harped on it previously, but the unknown of Steinbrenner, the heat, the rain, the overall conditions and how that can delay or impact a ball game, or you might have to mix in some double headers. Having a travel squad or a cavalcade of guys that you can go to in a pinch to give you multiple innings or a call up here, call up there, phantom IL stint here, do whatever you have to do to mix in some arms that you're comfortable calling up or moving around and putting them in a certain role.
I can say for sure that cavalcade is the word of the pod.
Thank you.
Today. And I just thought that maybe that's something we should institute organically right now. A word of the pod, an episode of the day. And that's definitely it, cavalcade.
Right.
BT Dubs is also a 1933 American epic pre-code drama film directed by Frank Lloyd. You learn everything at Locked On Rays, people. You just had to hit that like button, and you got to hit that subscribe button, and we're there for you. Look, July and August, and we've said this a few times now, July and August is going to be rough. It's going to be so rough. It's going to be like, because you're not playing at home for 2 months, essentially.
Right.
It's already dog days of summer for normal baseball wear and tear.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you're playing outside, which you really haven't at all at home. At least at home, if you're a Rays player, you're like, oh, we get to play again back at 72 degrees. We get to go back home in a climate control area. No, now it's like all year long. It's gonna suck. You're gonna need arms. You're gonna need bodies, and these bodies are going to be tested this year as they haven't been before. So you need the depth. You need the fact of like, hey, if we don't have Uceta, Bigge needs to take the 8th inning.
Right.
If we don't have Manny Rodríguez, we need Mason Montgomery to be there. Garrett Clevenger's out. Hey, doesn't matter. We got Joe Boyle in there. Like, you need to have replaceable value there where the top guy to the 9th guy, you're not losing much. You're always going to be losing some because your elite bullpen arm is obviously going to be your best guy, right? And your 8th guy can be your best one. But if you can minimize that disparity, if you can minimize the variance between talent level of bullpen arm number 1 and bullpen arm number 10, number 11, you're going to really be successful throughout a season, especially one that's going to have so many hindrances like the ones that are going to be facing the Rays this year.
Yes. We have more to discuss, but first, Ulysses, I think we need to tell the audience something very, very, very important.
Yes, we do, Kevin, and that's because in sports, having a winning strategy is everything. It's how the best teams make it to the World Series. And the same goes for life. Having a strategy like life insurance from Select Quote can protect your financial legacy and keep your family's future secure. What sets Select Quote apart is their personal touch. Just like Kevin Cash does his personal touch with the lineup, with the bullpen arms that he's going to bring in with that lefty, with that righty. Well, guess what? Select Quote does that for you with their policies, okay? They have agents that tailor their coverage to fit your unique needs. If you're in good health, you might even qualify for same-day coverage of up to $5 million, and it can be more affordable than you think. You can get up to $1 million in coverage for as little as $20 a month. So get the right life insurance for you for less at selectquote.com/lockedon. Go to selectquote.com/lockedon today to get started. One more time, that's selectquote.com/lockedon. Select Quote. They shop, you save.
All right. We know that relief core can be volatile, but I think overall this squad should be able to hold it up for the most part. But I want to get to a point. You mentioned you will hope to limit the disparity between your number 1 bullpen arm and your number 8 or number 10 bullpen arm, correct? Mm-hmm. So couple questions with that. One, if everybody after Pete Fairbanks or most everybody after steps up, or there's a couple guys that step up. I wonder if this is the swan song for Pete Fairbanks. There is a team option for him in 2026 at, I think, around $7 million. And I know he led the team in saves with 23, but the elephant is in the room is the availability factor. He has never pitched more than 50 games or 50 innings in a season. And you wonder if Hunter Bigge, I don't want to say comes out of nowhere, but gets an opportunity to get some save opportunities and cashes in and does really well with that. Maybe they think that, okay, we feel like we can save some money and mold the next round of closers. I mean, wasn't there discussion at the last trade deadline about trading Pete Fairbanks?
Yeah, there were rumors, certainly,
Yeah,
and the Rays never shy away from picking up the phone, as we know, for years and years and years.
But I think some of it, just to finish on that,
yeah,
I think besides the fact they wanted to save money and get more prospects in trading Jason Adam, and they got quite the haul for that. But I think that, based on what they saw from some of these other guys, that like, we really don't need Jason Adam. As good as he is, we don't have to have him. We can mold our setup man from within, so to speak, or we make a trade and get Hunter Bigge, and that can be our setup man, or however you want to play.
And boy, did they get it right by having Edwin Uceta basically step in that role and provide a 1.51 ERA in 30 games with 5 saves. I mean, that was pretty incredible. You said, talking about Fairbanks, I do agree that, I mean, I don't know if you actually put it out there, but I think we both agree that this is 99% most likely his last year with the Rays, correct?
I would think so, yes.
$7 million for a reliever, that's just not Rays baseball. It's just not. So we're going to go with what they have done in the past, right? And we can get wrong, just like opening day start, right? We said, hey, they always do it with the guy who earned it the year before. They didn't do it this year. That's the outlier. But if we go with what has been done in the past, this is most likely Pete Fairbanks' last season. If the Rays are doing well, he's not getting moved. If they're doing so-so, if they're like a 500 team by the trade deadline, guess what? He gone.
He's getting moved. Yeah.
He's getting moved. 2 names, though. I wouldn't be so just on one guy. I think 2 names jump at me with that, being
closer
the next
demarcation. Yeah.
It's Uceta and Hunter Bigge for me. I think those 2 are the names that are like, okay, who's doing the best at that particular time? Right. I don't think either of them have a leg up on each other. Maybe Uceta just a little bit more just because of the innings that he pitched last year. Mm-hmm. But talent-wise, I could see both of them, taking over Pete Fairbanks.
Yeah, I think definitely either of those. But if Uceta shows that, hey, he can hang around for, 50 games, 55 games and put up similar-esque numbers to what he did, it's over with at that point. I mean, then the team was ranked so highly in saves, and Pete Fairbanks didn't even, it's not like he was responsible for 45 of the 51 saves. They'll spread their saves around, as we've learned over the last couple of years. And I think that might, not to say that we're looking to see Pete Fairbanks go or anything, but it's just a numbers game and a financial game. And I think this could be the last one for him, depending on how it all shakes out. But just
funnily enough, Kevin, now that you mentioned saves are all across the board, Pete had 23 saves. The other pitchers that at least had 1 save, they total 26. Right. The Rays have never been a team that shy away from giving the ball to whomever and saying, hey, can you get the last 3 outs? Which we've heard from bullpen guys saying, yeah, there's a little bit of a difference between pitching the 7th, the 8th, or the 9th. And the 9th is just it just has a little bit more oomph because that's it. There should be nobody warming up behind you. The ball has been given to you to close it out. There's a significance in there, at least, physically, mentally, all that. So, but the Rays, again, they go against the grain and don't shy away of giving the ball to anybody. I mean, for God's sakes, Dick Lovelady had 2 saves last year.
Right. Yeah, and it kind of also goes back to it. It's not like it'd be one thing if Pete Fairbanks, had been the saves leader, every year for the last 5 years, but he really has only come on as a saves machine in the last 2 years, correct? So it's not like they can. It's not like they wouldn't switch that role out at some point. I'm just saying that. So
yeah.
All right. Let us know what you think about the relief corps and how awesome it is in the comments. And if there's a pitcher besides, I don't know, Fairbanks or Uceta or Bigge that you're really high on, let us know. Are you looking for a breakout from Manny Rodríguez? Or are you looking for a breakout? Well, he already had his breakout, but who are you looking at and saying this guy is going to surprise even more so, or he's going to put his name on the map this year? Maybe it's Alex Faedo, probably. So just wanted to throw that out. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you later.